1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We begin our service with Hinei Ma Tov, how good it is to sit with our brothers and sisters together. Hinei Ma Tov, u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei Ma Tov, u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei Ma Tov, u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei Ma Tov, u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei Ma Tov, u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
We enter the sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wandering, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors through lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into the sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayers. And we continue with our candlelight blessing.
Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav metzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
For those at home, we rise in spirit for our Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'asei v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'i kodesh seichel yitziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta me'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim b'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
Not too much. You have a big night. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure, but what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we care nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, and especially a day of peace. We now turn to Psalm 95.
Lechu neranen al Adonai, nariya letzur yisheinu. Lechu neranen al Adonai, nariya letzur yisheinu. את ידיו יצרו, כי הוא אלוהינו ואנחנו אמר איתו וצאן ידו.
We continue with Lecha Dodi, the apex of our Kabbalat Shabbat.
לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לחנדותי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבורך תשמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לחנדותי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לחנדותי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשם בתחילה. לחנדותי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לחנדותי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לחנדותי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
We rise together as we greet the Shabbos bride.
בואי ושלום עטרת מלאכם, בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לחנדותי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לחנדותי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
Please be seated. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as one before, and lest routine set my ways. And we continue with our Chetzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב, מאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם, וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה. בריחו לאלה מן כל מחתה משירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן.
And we rise.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared?
There is one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There is one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. There is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song. Nivarech, let us bless.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam ba'ed. Le'olam ba'ed. Yadadai-dai-dai, 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 yadadai-dai-dai.
Please be seated. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way in which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu mishochbeinu uvkumeinu nasiach mechukecha menismach medivrei Toratecha ubemitzvotecha leolam ba'ed ki heim chayenu me'orech yameinu ubahem nehgeh yomam v'layla ve'ahavattecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch ata Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught. Before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it's eternally Egypt. That there's a better place, a promised land, and the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. That there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together, singing ya ya da da ya da ya da ya ya da da. בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם יא ידעי 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 יא ידעי 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 אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא אדוני. עדותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים זה אלינו ואמרו זה אלינו ואמרו אדוני מלוך לעולם ועד יאי די 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 יאי די 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 יאי די 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 יאי די 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 די
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts. May we lie down in peace and raise up, waiting to do your will. We continue with Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom Behamidenu shomreinu l'chaim Spread the shelter of your peace over us Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom. Mehamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom. Mehamidenu shomreinu
We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. We continue with Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam beini uvein bnei Yisrael oti le'olam le'olam ki sheishat yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz ubayom hashmi'i shavat ma'i nafash.
Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer might not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city, but prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. We rise together for tefillah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora El Elyon גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. We continue with Ritzeh.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael u'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel Tehil ratzon Tamid avodat Yisrael Yisrael amecha El karov lechol Afnei el avatecha v'choneinu shefocheru chacha aleinu v'techezena eineinu v'shuvcha Zion
Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praise are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov be'einecha levarech Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam.
We take a few moments for silent prayer.
Yihul ratzon imre fi. Yihul ratzon imre fi. Megion libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri ve'koali. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you. O God, my rock and my redeemer. Oseh shalom bimromav, Ya'aseh shalom aleinu me'al kol Yisrael me'imeru ve'imeru.
At this moment in our service, we take time to think of those in our community, those who are in need of healing of body and spirit. On this Shabbat, we especially think of Rose Anderson, Linda Applebaum, Cindy Bailey, Katie Bates, Deborah Chargois, Sunita Costa, Arit Cohen, Helene Davidson, Hannah Lillian Fox, Elaine Gross, Bart Colber, Elizabeth Morgan, Beth Scherer, Chrissy St. Charles, Mitch Snyderkraut, Elena Stern, Adam Terrell, Jesse Weisberg, Elisa Rosemore Whitehead, Edgar Zimmerman, and Keith Zimmerman. We continue now with our Misha Berach.
Of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
This weekend is what we call Shabbat Shirah, which means Shabbat of Song. In this week's Torah portion, Bishalach, the Israelites flee slavery, they're finally redeemed, and they sing the famous Song of the Sea on the other side of the Sea of Reeds. This special part of the Torah is older than most, even thought to be the oldest part of the 5 books of Moses, based on the language used in the song. It also looks different in the scroll. And for those of you at home, an image of how the text is aligned in the scroll should be in front of you. It's a song, and thus it is displayed differently, like how a poem might be formatted differently in a book. The song begins with Moses leading the Israelites in a celebration, praising God, and it ends with Miriam leading a similar song, dancing with the women and telling all Israel to sing the words that Moses said earlier. Because of the song's significance, parts of this text are sung with a unique melody when chanting from the Torah scroll. Tonight I want to lead you in song, interweaving that special chant melody with more contemporary iterations of the text. And for the most part, that will consist of Micha Mocha, as this is where much of that prayer comes from. So sing along and join me in celebrating our redemption from Egypt tonight.
Ashir al Adonai ki ga'oka sus verochmo ramavayam Osi vezimratiyam vayhili lishua Ze'eli ve'anvehu Elohei aviv arom amenhu Osi Simratia Vayhili Lishua Osi Simratia Vayhili Lishua Osi Simratia, Vayhili Adonai ish milchama, Adonai shemo. Yemincha Adonai nedari b'koach, Yemincha Adonai tir'atz oyev. Da 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 da, da 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 da. Ya da 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 da, ya 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 da da da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. Mi chamucha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. You are my strength, and you are my song. You have become my liberation. You are my strength, and you are my song. You have become my La 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehiloto seifel. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha netar b'kodesh, nora tehiloto seifel. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha bokeh yam lifnei Moshe. Ze'eli, 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 Anu ve'ameru, Adonai imlo Ad ya'avor amcha Adonai, ad ya'avor amsu kanita, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nedar b'kodesh, norat tehilot osef ele, norat tehilot osef ele. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nedar b'kodesh, norat tehilot osef ele, norat tehilot osef ele. Shiru l'Adonai ki ga'o ga'a, sus v'rochbo rama vayam. Ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, Torah tehilot osef ele, Torah tehilot osef ele. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'elianu ve'amru, Ze'elianu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang a song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove was one which sang our history. With every strand and every thread she crafted her delight. A woman touched with spirit, she dances toward the light. And the women dancing with their timbrels timbrels followed Miriam as she sang a song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women dance and dance the whole night long. When Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe. Whoever thought the sea would part with an outstretched hand, and we would march to freedom and pass to the promised land. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang a song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women dance and dance the whole night long. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, she sang with praise and might. We've just lived through a miracle, we're gonna dance tonight. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang a song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women dance and dance the whole night long.
Happy Shabbat Shirah.
Just a can of winter to our Temple Emanu-El family. If we didn't have a pandemic still raging on, we hoped when we planned in May that things would be better, and this was going to be Cantor Whitner's installation to the Temple Emanu-El community. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait some time, but absolutely incredible celebration of singing of redemption and freedom. Do you want to do it one more time? I'm just kidding. Take a quick break, but still have those jokes, but thank you. Anyway, redemption is important for members of our community, and especially this person, Max Steinmetz. On January 20th, Max celebrated his 96th birthday, and Max is not only important to Temple Emanu-El, to Jewish Birmingham, the United States, and representing the survivors, and his story speaks to so many of our hearts of the lessons learned. And Max, we wish you could be with us tonight, but I know that you're watching, and on behalf of Cantor Winter, and I know this is important to him as being a grandson of survivors, we want to wish you a mazel tov on your 96th birthday, and we want to give you a blessing and thanking God for reaching us to this moment. Mishaberach avotenu imotenu Avraham Yitzhak Yaakov Sarah Rika Rachel Leah. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless our dear Max Steinmetz. May he merit from the Holy One of blessing, protection, rescue from any trouble or distress, from any illness, minor or serious, and God always send a blessing and success in his every endeavor, and especially that's teaching so many of us here in Birmingham about the lessons of the Holocaust. Together with all Israel, and together we say, Amen. And for those at home, we invite you to rise as we thank God for bringing us to this moment.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Happy birthday, Max. And we rise together for Aleinu.
לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
It is hard to sing of oneness when the world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passings leave behind. But memory can tell us only what we were in company with those we loved. It cannot help us to find what each of us alone must now become, yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world, and each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one whose life now ended brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. On this Shabbat, we recall the yortzites of Solomon Alun, Eva Rotenstreich-Becker, Dr. Bobby J. Bell, Ethel Burke and William Burke, Daniel Benton, Michael J. Blonder, Charlie Bowman, Ann Brick, Janady Bronstein, Richard Lawrence Cohen, Abraham Cohen, Patsy Wheel Collette, Riva Levy Engel, Blanche Marks Erdrich, Samuel Estroff, Cecilia Farguson, Jacob Fies, Molly Litch Friedman, Millie Gandler, Adrian Gerson, Gladys Kahn Gilman, Marion Kahn Gottschall, Dominic Gerdicke, Hyman Goldberg, Mayor Goldner, Morris Goldstein, Irving Goodman, Anita Hirschberg, Fedeline Ramey Jones, Frida Kishinevsky and Isaac Kishinevsky, Nethy Klein Landy, Bertram Goodwin Minisman Sr., Francis Mushagazang, Leatrice Rosenthal Knock, Lee Joseph Phillips, George Phillips, Francis Rosner, Eva Sagel, Lena N. Chandler, Wilburn Shellnut, Hattie Lowenberg Singer, Murray Sokol, Linda Cohn Speaks, Anna Steinberg, Charles B. Todd, Philip S. Troust, Norma Warren, Melvin Weinman, Herman Weinstein, Roberta K. Weinstein, Ray Wender, and Louise Zide, and a heartfelt condolences in the recent passing of Terry Fearman, brother of Bobby Fearman and father of Ashley Fearman Lewis, Robert J. Roth, father of Neil Roth, Phyllis Weinstein, mother of Lynn Raviv, Barton Leaf, husband of Priscilla Leaf, Sherwood Woody Cohen, husband of Pamela Cohen, father of Stuart, Stacy, and Adam, Brex Martin, dear friend of Chris Collins, James Witt, uncle of Lindsay Leibovitz, Angela Lichtenstein, wife of Lee, mother of Alan and Will, and daughter-in-law of Joyce and Joe, Gloria Sag, mother of Dr. Ken Sag, Scott Leader, son of Jerry and Shirley, father of Jenny and Olivia, and brother of Hugh, Joyce Fox, dear friend of Linda Gutchin. May their memories forever be a blessing, and we rise together as a united congregation for our mourners' Kaddish. Yigadal, Vigadash, Shemei Rabbah, Biomad, Ivrach, Erote, Bamlich, Malchute, Bechayachon, of Yomechon, Uvkayet, the Cold Beit Yisrael, Bagalah, Uizman, Kariv, Yimru.
Amen.
Yehei, Shmei, Rabbah, Mevarach, Le'olam Olamei Almaya, Yit Barach, Yit Shabach, Yit Ba'ar, Yit Ramam, Yit Naseh, Vita Dar, Vita Lev, Vita Lal, Shemei Kutsha,
Barichu.
Le'ela Minko, Birchata, Vishirata, Tushbechata, Venechamata, Damim Ram Yoma, V'yamru,
Amen.
Yehei, Shlama, Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim, Aleinu, V'yakol Yisrael, V'yamru, Amen. Osei Shalom, Bim Romav, Huya Say Shalom, Aleinu, V'yakol Yisrael, V'yamru, Amen.
Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom. Aleinu vel kol Yisrael, ve'imeru. Amen.
And please be seated, and hopefully Counter Whitner has a little bit left in the tank. We're going to certainly try. He did incredible, and we conclude with Adon Olam.
Adon olam asher malach, beterem kol yetzir nivra, le'et nasa v'cheftzo kol, azai melech shemo nikra, ve'acharei kichlot hakol, levado yimloch nora, vehu haya vehu hove, vehu yiyem betifara. Ya da 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 ya da ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da ya da 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 ya da 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 behu echad ve'ein sheni lehamshilo lehachmira beli reshit beli tachlit belo ha'oz ve'hamisra vehu elim v'chai go'ali v'tzur chavlim be'et sara vehu nisi umanu. Afkid ruchi beit ishan ve'aira ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li velo ira ya da 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 ya da ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da ya da 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 ya da 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 da. Shabbat Shalom.